While walking through a wooded area, TikToker Baddie with a Belly was live streaming when he suddenly spotted something that made him freeze. Lying in the brush was what looked like a body. As he moved closer, he realized it was not human at all. Instead, it was a silicone inflatable doll sitting among the bushes out of place, strange and unintentionally funny. How it got there or why remains unknown, and perhaps that mystery is better left unsolved. A researcher was moving through a remote forest in Vietnam after dark when he unknowingly recorded unsettling footage. At the moment of filming, he had no idea what the camera had captured. He kept walking through the area, unaware that something might be close by. Later, while reviewing the video, he was stunned by what appeared on the screen. Whether it was a real person, a spirit, or something else entirely, whatever showed up there did not belong in that place. A solo hiker was exploring Eagle Creek in Oregon, stopping along the path to take photos. Later, while going through the pictures with a friend, something unusual caught their eye. One image showed a strange blue-white shape. When the photo was enlarged, the form seemed to look like an angelic figure. The hiker had no explanation for what the camera recorded, and the eerie picture stayed stored on the phone, a mysterious and unexplained memory from that hike. A group of friends were hiking through the forest after dark. Everything felt ordinary until they noticed something in the distance. At first, they assumed it was an animal. As they got a better view, the shape seemed more human-like. They began recording as it moved farther away from them. No matter how fast they tried to follow, they could not close the distance. The group kept going in fear, staying nervous and alert for the rest of the hike. YouTuber Eater Hernandez and his team were exploring Devil's Cave at night. From the start, the mood felt tense and unsettling. But once they went inside, something strange happened. A figure suddenly appeared standing still in the darkness. Its shape was hard to make out, almost as if it had no face. Startled, the group rushed back out into the surrounding jungle. While trying to get away, they came across another figure along their path. No one could tell if it was a person, a demon, or something resembling a lifeless mannequin. Whatever it was, they decided not to stay and find out. While camping in the Appalachian Mountains, someone woke up to a sudden surprise. For an instant, panic took over. A moment later, they realized the spider was actually outside the tent. Even so, it was an unsettling way to start the morning. On April 12, 2023, inside Saul Demonstration State Forest in California's Santa Cruz Mountains, a hiker filmed his walk through the area. At first, the forest felt calm and undisturbed. Then strange sounds began echoing through the trees. A short time later, another noise followed, this one much louder. Not long after, he heard footsteps approaching from behind and decided it was time to leave. Late one night, a man came upon a wrecked car parked beside a lonely road. He snapped several pictures before police arrived. At first, it looked like nothing more than an abandoned vehicle. Later, while reviewing the photos, he noticed something disturbing. In two images, a face seemed to appear behind the shattered windshield, its features twisted and full of pain. When the pictures were posted online, many claimed they showed the spirits of those involved in the crash. Others said it was simple pareidolia. But one question remains, was it really only that they're... Deep inside an Indonesian forest, a couple said they captured something difficult to explain. Among remote waterfalls exists the old legend of the Jurik Kai, a spirit feared for generations. Local tales describe it as a strange mix of human and reptile believed to hide behind the roaring curtain of water. Quiet and motionless, it is said to wait. drawing people closer through the beauty of the falls or by copying the sound of a crying child. Those who get too near are believed to be pulled into the rushing depths, never seen again. The couple insists the figure appeared in their recording, though the image is too unclear to prove anything with certainty. After a long shift at work and heavy traffic, Ariana finally pulled over for the night, only to find her van's water tank had leaked across the floor.
So the water is under here, all over the floor still. And down here. And I have a lot of stuff to clean. And it's not just cleaning up the water, because it's from my gray water tank. So I have to go and bleach this.
Frustrated, she spent hours cleaning the mess before lying down to rest. Just as she relaxed,
Just finished cleaning up. I bleached the floor 3 times. So I'm pretty sure it's clean, but it just doesn't feel clean enough. You know what I'm saying?
a sudden loud knock hit the side of the van. When she checked outside, no one was there.
Came and knocked on my window and said I'm out here. And I always keep my my pocket, you know, on me. So I'm reaching back. I'm stunned because who the is this? I don't see the person anymore. I don't even want to park here anymore. Yeah, I don't want to park here anymore.
The silence that followed felt wrong. Fear set in quickly. She packed up, drove away, and spent the night tense and unable to sleep, disturbed by the unexplained interruption. So what do you think happened that night? Was it a coincidence, someone nearby, or something more unsettling? Share your thoughts in the comments. In the Appalachian Mountains, a man and his dog were out walking after dark when they suddenly heard something disturbing. The strange sounds echoed through the night, stopping them in their tracks. Hearing noises like that so late felt deeply unsettling, and with Appalachia's eerie reputation, it leads to an uneasy thought. Was it only an animal moving through the woods, or something far more sinister lurking among the trees? In October 2024, Mike camped on a closed, unrestored stretch of the Great Wall of China. Fog and low clouds warped the landscape, making the area feel confusing and uneasy after nightfall.
Dude, I know I'm in the middle of nowhere, but this is so sketchy. I keep hearing voices, like faraway voices, but then I just think like, I don't know, it's just scary. It's scary. Let's just wait for the sun to come up. Try to get a few hours sleep. Wait for the sun to come up.
As darkness settled in, he began to hear strange sounds in the distance.
Okay, brother. Okay. You are sleeping? Sleeping here?
I
was lying here, and I could hear voices on the horizon, and I'm like, am I just hearing things?
The noises seemed like faint voices carrying across the empty terrain and leaving him unsettled and unsure of their source. With no clear answer, he chose to stay put through the night and rest until morning. Later, he unexpectedly encountered another traveler nearby who was taking photos of the stars. The meeting turned out to be harmless and helped calm his growing nerves. By sunrise, the clouds slowly thinned, revealing the Great Wall stretching endlessly across the surrounding mountains. Groovy Gavin, a YouTuber famous for exploring haunted and abandoned sites, recorded a journey into the Appalachian Mountains. His mission was to study reports of disappearances, ghost sightings, and rumors of feral people tied to Elk Mount Ghost Town. As the search went on, the atmosphere grew steadily more disturbing.
Oh, shit.
What is that?
It's a bird, dude.
Oh.
I actually kind of feel bad for the bird now. He was sleeping. Damn. That scared the Jesus. There's the bathroom. You think I could take a shit in there?
Probably.
Hello?
My light's freaking out. My light's going on and off. Go. My light's freaking out, bro. Look at it, it's flickering. Oh, hello? Dude, I'm fucking shaking.
Hello?
Bro, I gotta figure it out now.
Yo!
Wait, stop. Dude, I hear something. There's someone 100% in there. There's someone in there. I think so.
Odd events appeared across the area, including sudden disruptions that caused alarm. Lights began flickering without warning, and unfamiliar noises echoed through nearby buildings. Despite careful checks, no one could be located. Still, the group chose to enter one final structure.
Could help me out and or just step on that stair right there. Are there feral people out here? Could you just step in front of that, please? Okay, are there skinwalkers or some...
Inside, something unexpected appeared. A face could be seen in a window even though no one was standing there. Moments later, Gavin's investigation equipment switched on by itself. At the same time, a phone light started turning on and off with no clear reason. With tension building, they decided to leave the site. Later, while reviewing the footage, the experience seemed even more unsettling than it had felt in the moment. So what do you think they encountered at Elk Mount Ghost Town? Was it equipment interference or human? A group from Pandemonium set up camp on isolated BLM land in the United States. The location was quiet and remote, bordered by thick forest and a nearby river. During the night, their calm was abruptly broken.
So not sure if y'all can hear, but I'm not sure if he's drunk or he's just mentally unwell. But there's a guy just walking through base camp cussing. I mean, like, severely cussing. You probably can hear him. He's also kind of not making any sense. It's kind of freaky, weird, and creepy.
A person walked directly through their campsite, shouting angrily and acting in an unpredictable way. The behavior was confusing and disturbing, making it hard to tell whether the individual was drunk unstable or both. Worried about their safety, the group contacted authorities. Officers later arrived with flashlights and worked to escort the intruder away from the area.
Thank you for calling us. We appreciate it. She's gonna be leaving there shortly. She's gonna be returning to her campsite for the evening.
Oh, that's a woman?
Yes.
Oh.
I have no idea
like
this is a
God.
woman.
No, well, there was a male subject that was down there with her. Yeah, I guess he left. He's driving a white Jeep. He went into town. So we're gonna see if we can't find him and recontact
That's not true.
No,
That's not true. She's been here by herself the whole time.
Okay.
Screaming
Well,
at somebody that wasn't.
right. She has a history of drug use.
Eventually, the situation was brought under control and the campsite returned to silence. The incident became a clear reminder that in remote places, unexpected encounters with people can sometimes feel more threatening than any wildlife in the surrounding wilderness. While hiking in the forest, the person encountered something strange. A dead bird rested on the ground, and a strip of red cloth had been tied high in the branches. Uneasy about the sight, they left the area immediately. After the video appeared online, many viewers suggested a reason. It was likely part of a spiritual practice, not an attempt to be frightening. In some native traditions, red tobacco ties and feathers are offered as prayers to the Creator. They mark a moment in time and carry grief, hope, and remembrance. To outsiders, the scene may seem disturbing, but to those who placed it there, it represented faith and care. On Barnaby Mountain, a young black bear quietly wandered into a group of people. It moved at an easy pace with no sign of aggression, seeming more curious than dangerous. At first, some in the crowd did not notice it passing by. Then awareness spread among them. Panic broke out as everyone reacted at once, shouts rising when the surprise encounter became clear. Even with the sudden commotion, the bear remained calm and eventually walked away on its own without incident. For 2 nights, a family heard screams from the forest and tried to ignore them until the noise seemed to climb onto their roof.
Oh, damn. Holy shit. All right. Son of a bitch is one on the other side of the house.
Some blamed skinwalkers, others a wild animal or mountain lion. The situation worsened when an animal skeleton appeared behind the house with no blood or clear cause. With no later updates, the case remains unsolved to this day, still deeply puzzling. Hiker M.A. Journey headed toward an old hunter's cabin deep in the mountains, but night arrived before he could reach it. Realizing he was still far away, he found an abandoned shelter built from fallen trees and decided to stay there instead. That choice likely saved him. Soon after, a pack of wolves began circling the area. Had he continued toward the cabin in the dark, the outcome might have been much worse for him. A Reddit user once shared what looked like a normal woodland image, only brown leaves and loose branches. Yet a closer view exposed a copperhead snake nearly invisible against the soil. One careless step during that peaceful walk might have produced a very different result that day. A young woman was practicing scream therapy in a remote wooded area when she suddenly shouted at full volume, right after a man unexpectedly appeared nearby. Visibly shocked after being interrupted while using the bathroom. The timing could not have been more perfect, and the alarm on his face made it clear the moment was completely genuine. While hiking the Appalachian Trail, a Reddit user discovered something unusual: 2 wings likely from a pileated woodpecker tied together with fishing line. They were fixed to a pine cone wedged into a tree trunk. The setup did not look accidental and seemed carefully placed by someone. The sight left him puzzled about its purpose. Was it meant for a ritual or intended as a warning to passersby along the trail? A family took a handful of ordinary photos with no special intention. Later, when they looked through the pictures, they noticed something strange. In several shots, a pale shape appeared that looked like a bride in a wedding dress. No one remembered seeing a person there when the photos were taken. Some say it was only lighting or a camera effect, while others believe the images may have captured a real spirit. Xander, an experienced camper, set out alone into woodland for a quiet trip. He located a rare level clearing and built a simple shelter using a tarp and a few branches. After starting a fire and cooking a steak for dinner, he rested beneath the stars, watching distant lightning flash along the horizon. Several hours later, the mood changed. From the trees came soft cries. Nothing that sounded like wind or wildlife. The noises grew louder and seemed to drift closer. At first light, he packed his gear and left once. Even now, he cannot explain what else shared the forest with him that night. Dustin Frazier, a TikTok content creator, and a friend traveled to Elk Mount in the Appalachian Mountains, an abandoned site surrounded by ghost stories and disturbing local lore. Almost immediately, the trip took a strange turn.
Now she fucking works. Okay. Maybe she's just cold. I'm cold. A closet. No. That's not a toilet.
Did you see me?
Oh, lights out again.
Chad, is this working?
There's a hot water heater back there. But also, my question is, what are they trying to keep out? You're like bears. Fucking bears.
Fucking black bears, yeah. North American black
Lights inside the structure began flashing for no clear reason. Unfamiliar noises moved through the rooms, and the building's design made them question what past occupants may have tried to block out.
What was that? Don't run, just...
As the tension increased, a sudden sound caused them to panic. They rushed toward the exit and noticed a figure standing and watching as they fled.
Go, 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 go. Where the fuck did he go?
Both ran to their vehicle and drove away, only to spot the same figure appearing again along the road. Whether it was a carefully planned scare or something truly unexplained, they left with one certainty: they had not been alone on Elk Mount that night. A hiker was filming his hike when a bear unexpectedly charged toward his dogs. Seeing the threat, he reacted immediately and used bear spray. The spray stopped the bear and caused it to retreat. Because of the quick response, both the people and their dogs were able to get away without being hurt. A couple camping near Carnton Plantation in Franklin, Tennessee, walked the historic grounds and took several photos, including one that revealed something strange. In the picture, they later saw a faint, transparent shape resembling a woman from the Civil War period. At the moment the photo was taken, nothing stood in the field that could explain the image. After asking local residents, they learned the area had once been used to hold bodies after the battle. Some believe the figure could be a mourning woman still searching for someone she lost, a sad and unsettling possibility for many people today. While trekking through the mountains, a group spotted something strange moving across a faraway ridgeline. Interested, they started filming and zoomed in with their phones. The shape seemed to be walking upright, but it looked much larger than any normal person. Because the recording was taken from such a distance and remained blurry, there was no clear way to tell what the figure really was. While filming a wildfire racing across the hills near Henry's Creek on her Idaho land, Jeanette MP recorded something disturbing. Later, when she reviewed the video, a dark, shadow-like shape seemed to hover above a tree. She did not believe it was smoke or a lighting effect, and felt it looked like a guardian watching the firefighters below. More than 50,000 acres were burning around her property, yet that strange figure stayed on her mind more than the destruction. In the end, she gave it a name, the Fireman's Guardian, for years afterward too. While hiking deep in the Appalachian Mountains, a lone explorer found something disturbing. In a small clearing ringed by tall trees stood a strange structure that looked almost ceremonial. Curious, the hiker snapped a photo and moved on. Later, while reviewing the picture, a detail appeared that had gone unnoticed, a dark figure positioned between the trunks facing the camera. No one else had been visible at the time. They were certain they had been alone. So who or what was watching them that day? Early one morning, Reddit user individual -insect72 got a Ring camera alert. Expecting wildlife, they opened the clip and instead saw a person dressed all in white walking around their yard. They had just moved to a remote spot with no neighbors, no regular foot traffic, and a fenced house sitting alone on a wooded hill. The place had already felt unsettling, but this sight pushed that feeling much further. Who was roaming outside, and how did anyone reach the property at all? That morning left them deeply confused and afraid. A person staying in a remote mountain cabin recorded something deeply disturbing. At first glance, the clip seemed to show a spider moving across a flat surface, but closer inspection revealed something far worse. The spider was not alive. It was being driven by a parasitic fungus called cordyceps, the same organism that inspired the outbreak in The Last of Us. When cordyceps infects a host, it takes control of the body and nervous system, turning the animal into a puppet until the fungus finally kills it. The most frightening detail is that the spider is unaware it is controlled, continuing to move while dying. Brand, a solo YouTuber hiking the Appalachian Trail, started his day early after a peaceful night's rest. The terrain was challenging, but the scenery made it worthwhile. Later, he scouted a stealth campsite hidden deep in the woods.
Hey, talk about creepy. I was just down at that stealth site there checking it out, talking about it, and I heard and saw a hiker coming down the trail. And I thought I'd stay at the campsite and wait for the hiker to pass. And the hiker never passed, and there's nobody here, and it's freaking me out right now. I've got chills up and down my spine. And I saw a person with a pack on, wearing hiking clothes. There's no way they passed me. Yeah, this is weird. I'm getting out of this spot. I'm telling you, that's if the animal den wasn't enough. Yeah, this is the spot where I thought I saw somebody. And, you know, honestly, that's the second time today that's happened. And the first time is when I was sawing that log, and I looked over and I was like, oh, someone's coming up the trail. The log will be sawed for them when they get here, and there was never anybody there. And I think I might have just saw a leaf. I don't know.
Just as he was deciding whether to stay, something unnerving happened. He thought he saw another hiker coming down the trail, a person with a pack and typical hiking clothes. He stepped aside to let them pass, but no one ever appeared. The area was empty. The experience sent chills through him, especially because it wasn't the first time that day. Earlier, while cutting a log, he believed someone was approaching the trail, yet no one showed. The second sighting left him unsettled enough that he chose not to remain at the campsite. Whatever he had seen or thought he'd seen, Brand decided it was best to keep moving. In the end, he trusted his instincts and continued onward alone. A few weeks ago, 4 friends went back to a castle hidden deep in the forest, a site known for earlier strange events. They arrived with flashlights, cameras, and a cross. The instant they stepped inside, the mood changed. A crushing pressure, sudden chills, and an overwhelming sense of dread settled over them. Later, while reviewing their footage, a dark shape could be seen peeking around a stairway corner, something none of them noticed at the time. Even so, they climbed to the attic, where faint whispers echoed like a woman's voice. As they headed back to their car, they saw glowing yellow eyes with horns staring from a window. Panicked, they ran from the building and left the area. To this day, they still cannot explain what they encountered. A TikTok creator set out on a solo camping trip in the Appalachian Mountains, hoping to record new content for her audience. During the night, however, she suddenly woke around 3:44 a.m. to extremely loud chant-like music echoing through the forest.
I had the weirdest experience of my life last night. While sleeping in my tent, I woke up at 3:44 to some extremely loud music playing in the middle of the forest. Spiritual type stuff. It was so loud. It was like a religious stadium had music playing at 3:44 in the morning or something. I don't know how to explain it. It went on for hours and it freaked me the F out. I seriously was like, did I die? Go too far.
The sound felt intense and spiritual, far too powerful for such a remote mountain area. It continued for hours, leaving her shaken and unsure whether something was happening close to her campsite. Hearing ritual-style music while alone in the dark is enough to unsettle anyone. Some people believe the noise came from a distant group, while others think it may have been a ritual or an attempt to frighten campers away. If you were in her place, would you stay where you were or leave as quickly as possible? Katie, a TikToker camping in the Appalachian Mountains, briefly met a couple who claimed they were searching for a lost ring. She offered to help, but they refused, and the man kept returning, behaving in a strange way. Later that night, he managed to contact her without ever receiving her phone number, sending unexpected messages and asking to come to her campsite. After midnight, the situation worsened.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning and I just had the scariest thing ever happen, and I should have gone with my gut on this. This kid and his girlfriend were next to me at the river earlier. They seemed harmless. They were probably like in their mid to late 20s. They didn't say anything to me at all the entire time I was next to them, and then all of a sudden they lost this ring, and the guy kept coming back, like hiking all the way back to where I was, like 3 different times. I asked him, do you want me to take down your number? I'm gonna be here just in case I find the ring. And I asked him this like 3 times, and he kept saying no and like insisted that I hide it somewhere random. And I just had this feeling that something was off. And then 2 hours later, he texts me, thanks for helping us earlier. Do you want me to, can we come over later to your campsite and have drinks? And I was like, literally like, sorry, but like, how did you get my phone number? And he was like, it was on the back of your rig. No, it's not. How did you know what rig I drive? I swear to God, we never talked about it. My phone number's not on the back of my rig. And he's like, oh, I saw your Instagram handle. I called my best friend. Can you get my phone number from my Instagram? She's like, no. I had this gut feeling that something was wrong. He texted me again at like 10 o'clock at night and was like, hey, we're gonna go for a moonlight hike. Do you want to come? And I just had this gut feeling that I needed to leave here, but I was like, they're so young. And then just now, this motherfucker, I literally wake up. I just hear somebody out. I'm in the woods by myself camping. I hear somebody outside of my truck just creeping around, and I look out. There's a fucking figure of a man outside of my window in the woods, and he doesn't have a light on. He's not saying anything. And I was like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, is this Katie? I fell in the river. I need a towel. Why didn't you say anything? Why am I waking up to hearing you creeping around my truck in the pitch black without making yourself known? And he just ran. He like ran away.
While sleeping inside her truck, she woke to movement outside. The same man was standing beside her vehicle with no light and no warning, and he tried to open the door. His explanation did not match anything he had said before leaving her scared enough to call the police.
Okay, it's now 5 a.m. I just got police escorted out of the woods because there was a man outside of my camper staring into my window in the forest at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Officers arrived and escorted her out of the woods at dawn. What might have happened if she had not woken up? Some think the ring story was only a cover to watch her, while others believe he found her number through social media. If someone appeared at your campsite, a man went alone to camp in the Appalachian Mountains. The evening began quietly as he pitched his tent and enjoyed the still forest. That calm slowly disappeared when he noticed a dark, unclear shape moving at the edge of his vision. He tried to dismiss it, but the uneasy feeling kept building. The figure lingered just long enough to force a troubling thought. Was it only another camper nearby, or something far more unsettling, hiding within the shadows of the woods? The night felt suddenly hostile around him there. Foul Mitten. A YouTuber known for hunting and fishing videos experienced something very different one night near his home. Strange sounds like slow footsteps and leaves shifting came from the nearby woods.
They're all over the damn place again tonight. Okay, I'm gonna keep walking towards it. Might actually get to capture something here.
When he stepped outside to check, he saw an unusual figure standing along the tree line.
All right, whatever you are, you need to leave. Stay out of this place. This is our home. This is our home. You need to leave. You leave now. I don't think it's going to come around for a little bit. I think that'll keep it away for a while. Oh, God. I hope that does it. I really do.
Growing uneasy, he tried to scare it away and eventually fired a warning shot to stop it from coming closer. After that, the forest went silent. The short clip he recorded only deepened the mystery. The shape looked partly human, yet its eyes reflected light in an unnatural way. Nothing else happened that night, but the fear stayed with him long afterward and haunted his thoughts daily. That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.